So you said you don't like watching TV that much. You're more of a theater girl. Okay. But do you not have a favorite movie or
I
anything?
watch
Go
I
ahead.
watch a lot of TV. I don't like doing TV, like acting. Like I
Oh,
watch a lot of
okay.
TV.
Why
Let's
go ahead. Why don't you like doing TV acting if you like theater acting? Like what do
just think
you
I
go ahead.
at least when I've done it, which is not a lot, but like it's just a lot of stop
Mm,
and go. And so a lot of
mm.
standing
Oh
around.
yeah.
Whereas like theater is just
Yeah,
like you do it, it exists one night only, and then like every time you do it, it's new and it's different and it's just for like you and the people there, and then like it's forgotten
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Um, Mostly
Uh-huh.
just doing it. Yeah, I just think theater just moves quicker when you're actually like doing it.
Definitely. I mean, okay, let me ask you this. Do you ever forget your lines?
I actually no, I don't think I've had so many nightmares about it, but I don't think
Yes.
there's ever been a moment where actually forgotten a line. Like I get lines to me come pretty easily. I had a showcase a few years ago,
Mm.
and it was this scene where basically there were two moments that had very similar lines right at the beginning and then like right at the end. And my scene
Oh
partner
yeah.
the line at the very very end, so basically our scene would have been like all of 30 seconds, and I was like
Oh.
standing there and I was just like, obviously it felt like an eternity and in my
Oh my
head,
God.
and then I just started making like noises. I was like shaking my head
Well,
like I was acting, and then I
oh my God.
fixed it.
That's that.
But
Yeah. How many plays do you think you've done in your life?
oh, I don't know. I like I don't know.
Jesus, you lost count?
I mean, I'm sure I could go backwards and count.
I mean, no, I'm saying like it's that many.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool. I've done two, and they were both like so terrifying. I don't know if I do. Okay. Theater to me, like, is what acting is to theater. Like, acting on TV is to theater is what doing like a comedy is to stand up. Like, I do stand up. I work Second City, like I told you, and that's terrifying, but you have to do it, I feel like, if you want to be a good like comedic presence otherwise. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah.
just like theater actors like Meryl Streep and a lot of these big actors and actresses, yeah, they started in theater and they
Hmm.
still go back and do it just to like sharpen their knife because it's hard. Theater's very hard. You have to have good vocal
Yeah.
range. Yeah, you have to remember your lines. It's very you have to be alive. Like yeah, you can't
It's a
phone it in. And if
performance
you're
for
on
sure.
stage and you phone it in, yeah, yeah, it's scary. I used to not even like give. I used to get scared when I would give speeches in class. Imagine like being the lead, and you go in front of an entire audience that paid money to see you.
See,
Yo,
I'm
I was
like
freaking
the
out.
opposite. Like when I was in, so I had to do speech class in college, and I
Uh huh.
was terrified. Like I would have to wear high neck shirts because I would just like break out in like red splotches because I was so nervous to like give a speech.
Uh
But
huh.
like theater and stuff, I'm like, I can perform in front of like 1,000 people and just be like, yeah, whatever, like it's fine. There's something to me about like being yourself and being like,
Yeah.
here you go,
I guess.
versus like,
Yeah. I guess it just becomes like an adrenaline rush. You kind of ride the wave. Like it's
yeah,
instead of like a doggy paddle out on your stomach, like paddling out. It's like you got to get on your feet and ride that wave. There's no way out. Like once you step on stage, you're doing it. There's no like, oh, I don't know anymore. Nope, nope. You have to. Your co-stars are not gonna like it if you just choke on stage.
yeah,
I messed up a line one time, but I saved it. But adrenaline took over. I didn't even think about it. It was
yeah.
scary.
I've
Dan, how
yeah.
was it when you performed in front of the
No.
whole high school?
Well, I want to talk about well, okay, I'll talk about that too, but like
Yeah, go ahead.
since Erin mentioned speech class, I had this one speech class
Uh huh.
where I was a piece of shit. I don't know, I'm misspeaking. The piece of shit the entire semester, and I emailed the teacher and I was like, "Yeah, can I just like do them all in a row?" And he was like, "Okay, sure, that's fine." So I did
Oh my
three
god.
speeches in a row for like my class, And like I remember the
That
first
sounds
one.
so much worse.
Yeah, I mean it does, right?
That sounds
But,
so much
like,
worse.
But like the
Imagine
first
like
speech, I was
being
like
like,
kind of
"Woo, got that
nervous.
speech over. Okay, time for
Exactly.
the second one," and it's just like a completely different subject. Oh my
The
god.
first one, I was kind of like nervous. Like you know how like I'm sure you guys know this. Like you get that little bit of shakiness in your voice, kind of. Yeah, so I had
Yeah,
that in like the
hate
first
that.
one, but then like I was just kind of like, oh whatever, fuck it. Like you kind of have to be like, oh fuck these people.
Mhm.
Like they don't care about me anyway, and they're not gonna remember this at all. So I was just like, whatever, I'll
That's
just
true.
do it, and I did it.
But you were the
The
guy though they
performance,
remembered because you gave 3 speeches.
Yeah, they were like, this
maybe.
dude talked the
Yeah, this dude's
period.
weird. They were like, this dude's fucking weird.
I mean, maybe. I'm sure they forgot about it.
Definitely, dude.
I'm sure they forgot.
No, they
People
talk
have
about it. I
such
actually
short
heard about
attention
that.
spans
And,
these days. Like, I'm sure they forgot about it.
well, not when you give 3 speeches in a row, homie. They're all ears.
I guess
But
so.
that's
But
crazy, dude. Why would you decide to do that? Wait, you did them in the same day, or do you mean just
because I was just an asshole.
consecutively? Like,
Consecutively.
no,
yeah. And the same
okay,
night.
go
The
ahead.
same
You
night.
were like
So-
you finished, and then you were like, moving on.
time for another speech.
I don't think I said moving on, but yeah, I was just like,
Moving on. That'd be the best transition if you were talking about like paramilitary death squads, and the next one was about like GMOs or something. You're like, moving on.
I remember one was
Moving
about
on.
like,
So
I remember one was about like
the
space.
war
and
on
shit.
drugs. Huh?
I think
Yeah.
one was about like space
No.
and the planets and like aliens, possibly something. Oh no.
What do you
One
remember?
was about like nuclear war. I was like, yeah, nuclear war. Like,
Okay.
if that were to happen, that's gonna fuck everyone. So that was like one of them, like one of the topics.
Okay. And the next one was like, we should like have our kids sleep more. And not and have later school starting hours.
I'm not
The
sure.
next one
I
was
think
like,
the
you
two
gotta
other ones
neuter
like
your
personal
pet.
stories or something. I forget to be honest. But I just remember I did it and I was like, wow, I can't believe.
I mean,
But I didn't care. It wasn't that many
3 in a
people
row.
anyway. It was
I
like
can't
20,
believe
30
I-
people in a class, so it wasn't that bad. But the
I took
yeah,
I feel like those are worse though.
in front of that little
not that
people?
many people.
Not really. In the beginning, it was. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like
don't-
that's worse.
I always like.
This is Lola.
I always like tried for the shakiness not to happen, but it just happens anyway, which I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
I feel like,
after
dude,
that,
but
I
it
got
is
over
worse
it.
though when it's more close quarter. Do you not think? Like, I'd rather have a bigger crowd, like Erin was saying when she performs in front of like 1,000 people. I kind of agree with her on that because it's like less personal. Like it's an audience, and then like you can hear the energy instead of seeing faces. Whereas in class, like people are like watching you and judging you, right, Lola?
Love your
Yeah,
cat.
Meow,
you
meow.
get over it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's still
I
the
mean,
larger
yeah,
crowd
no,
is
I
still
know, but,
judging
like-
you. Would still judge you. It's just more.
Yeah,
people.
but you don't get to see them up in personal. You know, like it don't. Okay, I would say a Zoom call with like 8 people. Let's say it was like you, me, Erin. Okay, and then let's say like 5 other people we know. That would be to me scarier than if it was like an entire classroom of people because it's just less personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I disagree.
And you know,
Like,
like
3
with
people's
more
com-
people, they're
yeah.
not listening.
Yeah, they're kind of just like waiting their turn or like
The
thinking
o-
in their own head or kind of like
Yeah.
drifting off because
The only reason I would think
Yeah.
that's worse is because like in a smaller classroom, like you know how like you have to like look
Mhm.
up when you like speak. So like I would look at like
Oh, yeah.
random people and I could like sometimes could tell like some people were like uncomfortable with like me looking at them while I'm speaking. So I was like,
It'd be a
fuck.
Dude, it would be a power move if you just stared someone down the whole time you're like talking to
The
them.
same person.
Just the same person. Like, and then you like gave him a little break. You looked away, and then you're like, anyway, and then you looked right back at him
I
again.
tried to be that person, like my speech class, because we had to like make eye contact and stuff, and no one would like everyone would just be like, you know, like looking around and stuff. But I felt so bad, so I would be that person that was like staring at them, like you can look at me, it's okay.
That's funny. That's funny.
Moral
No, I was
support.
really good. Yeah. You know those classrooms in college where it's like a staircase that goes up like a coliseum type of thing?
Mhm.
Like I had this art class and I would have to give speeches like we had to like do like presentations and every time they're like who wants to be the speaker? I would always be the one. And I remember this one kid, one of the best compliments I got was he came up to me and he's like, "Dude, you're like masterful at giving speeches." I'm like, Thank you very much. Because I was afraid, but in that classroom, for whatever reason, I was just like, fuck it, and I didn't even care if people were like not paying attention. And I realized then, like, when you just don't give a shit and you just do it, like people start to like you a lot more. You know,
Yeah. And like you were saying about
it's
that
just funner that way. And even if you bomb,
yeah.
yeah,
That's why you were saying at that
that's
performance,
why
like
my
how I felt. That's how I felt like for that performance. Like I think it
just
was
fuck it. You
homecoming.
have to, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Like it came to the point where I was like, okay, like I can't fucking back out of this now. Like I would look ridiculous.
yeah,
So I was just
yeah.
like,
No,
fuck
Like
it,
a
I'm gonna
exactly.
do
number
it. Like
three.
whatever. So yeah.
Yeah. No, right. When I would do stand up comedy, like if I was just like if I went out on stage and I was like nice and like just feeling good and I was like, you know what, I want to bomb tonight. That's when I did my best. If I went out and tried jokes that were like careful and like thought out, I always would get like crickets. Always. And I hated it because it was such a punch. The worst feeling at oh, if you want to feel like true emotional pain, go on stage and tell a joke that bombs and just watch everyone's face go flat and then you get the awkward laughs in the back and that's even worse because it's like, oh my god. And then after that your momentum just collapses. It's terrible. Oh, it's terrible.
That sounds terrible.